Welcome to our Wednesday call. Every single Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We talk about Medicare and we go over the different changes in this dynamic market and how well it pairs with our existing book of business and market that we use, which is the final expense marketplace. So we talk about Medicare and all the different questions that usually come about throughout the week. I like to address on these calls, as well as a bunch of different training and things along those lines. So today, let's talk about a key thing that is really crucial is your pending applications. So one thing that you need to be doing is you need to check your pending application. So what can happen is an application can be a duplicate, which is why if we look at the steps to sell, right, you see in there, hey, we want to check Medicare.gov, or with the new customer lookup feature in Sunfire, you check that. Make sure that that client is not already in that plan. Now you're just submitting an app because they gave you an insurance card that you thought was the right one. Turned out not to be. So always check that and use AEP as your election period right now. Could you still enroll people for a December 1st effective date? Yes. Yes, you could, using special election periods. If someone's in a 3-star plan or less, you could change them. If someone's in a 5-star plan, right? There's reason why, or if there's a 5-star plan in your area, there's reasons why you can change someone right now from one plan to another. Okay. But always check those applications. Maybe you wrote the wrong MBI number when you submitted through Sunfire. Could be any error that could prevent an app from becoming active and it's still pending. So just check those. All right. So just check them. Next is the question or based on that, pending applications, is the customer lookup feature in Sunfire. So I can't show you exactly what it is, right, and how to do it specifically because I can't use a client's data. I don't have the back end to do that, but I'm sure you could look it up under the FAQs in Sunfire, and that'll show you right there exactly how to do it. And we will do a example today in Sunfire. I will show y'all a case study that I'd like to look at. So we'll do that as well today. The next thing, so customer lookup, let me kind of explain that because I know it's in my training. I pretty much say it on every single call, but customer lookup, what does that do? So the customer lookup itself is going to be a feature that tells you what plan they currently have. So that's a big thing, right? It already tells you. It's like, oh, hey, this client has this plan already. They just have a PDP, right? Just a prescription drug plan. So you go there and you're trying to take a look at what the client currently has, and you're trying to enroll them in a plan. They don't really know what they have. They're not sure. That's a way to check it. It tells you what they're currently in, and sometimes it'll tell you their previous plan, although it doesn't always tell you their previous plan, but always take a look at that stuff. So that way we can make sure that we're looking at it properly. Oops, 1 second. Sorry, I clicked the wrong thing here. So with that said, always look at the customer lookup. After you add the contact, let me just screen share so I can show you guys. Right here, share screen 2, boom. After you have your contact, right? You add your contact, you hit save and quote, customer lookup right there. That's all that it is, right? It's not complex. After you click customer lookup, check the box, boom, and then just type in the information requested. Then it'll pull up right beneath it. After you hit search, it'll tell you what plan that they have. So that's a big thing. All right. So let me stop sharing and go back to this real quick so I can keep going over the questions. Make sure that you have the correct information in Sunfire. What you'll find is that the date of birth can be wrong at the Social Security office. It can vary. It could be different between their driver's license and what Social Security has on file. With our clients, if they're older, 70 years old, 75 years old, 80 years old, they were born at home in some instances. If you're going to sell out in the country, they might have been born at home and not gone to the hospital for 3 days later. Okay, so what you'll see is that they have a date of birth different from the day that they were actually born. So I've seen that, right? They were born using a midwife. They then aren't even, going to the hospital to do a lookup till about 2 or 3 days later. So there's like a little discrepancy there. It's different on their date of birth, or different on the driver's license than it is of Social Security. Okay, so that's a good thing. Make sure you have the correct information. Maiden name, that could be a reason why the case isn't pulling up properly. So correct info for the client's name. Next, you could have, if you're calling United Healthcare to do a customer verification and you're trying to get the proper information to get their Medicaid number or their MBI number, the Medicare Beneficiary Identification Number, right? They won't give it to you if you do not have the correct mailing address. Okay, so you have to think of the old zip code. What was the old zip code? Did they use, maybe they use a PO box? Okay, so what's the old address, the mailing one? What's the PO box? Think about that stuff. Next thing is prescription drugs. This is a huge thing that we're running into. I talk about this with agents. I think I talked about it on another call. One thing is that you'll see there's different options for prescription drugs in Sunfire. When you input it, you see tablets, you see capsules, you see the extended release of each. Sometimes you see liquid, right? So that's an important thing to notate. If you select an extended release, ER at the end of it, capsule, it might be $2,000 and not on the formulary. But when you select tablet, it's just a generic drug that's free through the mail, tier 1, right? Tier 1 or tier 2, those are generic drugs. So let's look over here. Let me go to the next thing over here. PDP deductible. All right, so deductible. So this is basically how it works on deductibles. So let me just explain this. All right. What is a deductible? You have car insurance. If you have car insurance, that's all that it is, right? It's as simple as that. Before your insurance pays, you pay your deductible, and then the insurance will kick in and pay. That's all that it is. So it's the same thing with this. Before your insurance pays, you pay your deductible. After you pay your deductible, the insurance pays. That's how it works with PDPs. So United Healthcare, for example, and pretty much all insurance companies, all MAPDs, inside of an MAPD is embedded a PDP. The PD stands for prescription drugs. So that's the same exact thing, right? PDP, prescription drug plan. Okay. So with that said, they have to hit the deductible before they get those drugs for free through the mail. Okay. For the tier 1 and tier 2 generic drugs. Next is when you're in Sunfire, you type in the drugs, you see drug cost details, which we will look at, right? So hold on, let me do share screen real quick. You type this in, you hit view all plans, you type in drug cost, type in whatever the drug is, the Cinepro, okay? And then after you do that, you click details, or you can compare, it doesn't matter. And you click drug cost details. That's it. Scroll down. What tier is it? Right? It's clearly on the formulary because it says that there's a tier. If it's not on the formulary and it's not covered, it won't be listed there. So that is that one. So now let's go to the next one. T65 list. Guys, you got to be mailing to your existing book of business. So you have Medicare, you got a Medicare book of business. I think that's a huge thing there, that the T65 list is crucial. I'll give you an example. In Texas here, if I have 10 clients that I enroll that are turning 65, I get $601 times 10. I just made $6,000 off of 10 people, plus the additional $75 per app for a health assessment. Let's just say on average, it's $75. Okay. Total, that is 601 times, what did I say? 10 plus another 750. That's $6,760. All you need to do is get 10. What was your income last year? Was your income last year $60,000? That's 10% of your income or more, right? That 10% of that would be $67,600, right? So think about that. So you have a book of business. If you've been in business for years, right? 2, 3, 4 years, and you've bought leads and you've seen people, you sat down with people, right? You have a client list of people that are turning 65 in that book. So you have to market to those clients, right? You got to market to them and stay in front of them. So make sure you're building that list and doing it, right? That's the most important thing. People are always turning 65. It doesn't matter what time year you use IEP, initial coverage election period, and that's crucial for you. Okay, so make sure you're doing that and building your list. Your Medicare leads as well that you have inside of that same database where you have your T65s, right? Mail to them, send that stuff out, send letters out, call them, talk to them, right? These are people that you sat down with, you talked to already. Medicare supplements, you can door knock on. It's all compliant. You could door knock a Medicare supplement lead, right? You could do that all day. You could dial on a Medicare supplement lead without having to do any call recordings, right? It's Medicare supplement. So Medicare Advantage, that's got a ton of different regulation than a Med Sup, okay? So make sure you're mailing to them and you're working on your T65. You're turning 65, list people aging into Medicare. Even if they were already on a Medicare Advantage plan because they were disabled for greater than 24 months prior to the age of 65, okay? Even if, and they turn 65, it's still a true up. You still get paid that full commission of $601 plus your health assessment. Utilities. So one question is, what utilities are covered? The utilities that are covered under the dual special needs plans are going to be your home heat, your electricity, your water, your sewage and sanitation, your garbage, internet. Okay. Internet's in there. I didn't see cable, right? I didn't see cable in there, which not many people have cable anyways. So, that's okay. And I didn't see phone bill in there. But what you can do is you can check with your local rep and you can always double check that. But those are the key things that I saw with United Healthcare. And as you know, with Humana, they cover rent with their D-SNP plans, but they got to be paying it to an actual landlord and they, have to accept a debit card in order to do it. So in addition to being able to use the utility, the over-the-counter and the food, also can use that towards rent. If someone doesn't have Medicare, you can't sell them a Medicare Advantage plan. I know it seems stupid to say that, right? But if they don't have Medicare, you can't sell them anything. If they're just on Medicaid, you can't sell them anything, right? If someone says that they've been disabled for 10 years and they don't have Medicare, you can't sell them anything, right? Call Social Security. You could call United Healthcare and check and verify, but I'm pretty sure people know if they have Medicare or not. So you call United Healthcare, hey, I need to do Medicare verification, see if this person's eligible or if they have Medicare. Boom, no, they're not. Okay, great. Call Social Security. Here's the number. Boom, I got to go. Right? If someone doesn't have a bank account, can you sell them life insurance? No. Same exact thing. Humana on their dual special needs plans. Remember, their drugs are $0. All tiers. $0. People do not pay for their drugs with Humana's dual special needs plan. That's a huge selling point, right? So they really want to take a lot of market share this year. And obviously they'll change next year. They might scale them back. They might increase them every single year. Humana, United Healthcare, they've been increasing their benefits. Some carriers have taken them away. Now, this is a very, very big one, guys. Trial period. So something that I talked about with Ryan, I talked about with Gary, and I've done it on calls before. Right. But this is like such a huge refresher too, because sometimes I forget to think about it. Sometimes agents forget to think about it. You might already know it, right? But you forget in the heat of the moment when you're in the sale, right? So this is crucial. So trial period. What is a trial period? People have a 12-month window. Write this down. People have a 12-month window to try a Medicare Advantage plan from moving from a Medicare supplement plan. They get to try it for 12 months. They have to move within 12 months. Okay. Not 12 months in a day. They got to move within 12 months to go back to their Medicare supplement plan with no underwriting, regardless of carrier. So they can move from one company to the next using that trial period as it's basically what it is it's guaranteed issue, right? So they can move from one to the next with no underwriting. They do track the time. So if it's 12 months, they do track the time of when they move to the Medicare Advantage and moving back. So that's one way for you to acquire a client. So maybe we ran into someone today, they're paying like $555 a month for a Medicare supplement, right? Guy had cancer. I don't really want to make changes when someone has cancer unless we know that where the cancer treatment might be going. Like he's like, no, like the cancer treatment's pretty much done, right? And we're over it. I beat it. Okay. But if, they're in the middle of cancer, I don't want to make changes to their health insurance. So, but it's one thing if we're doing a Medicare Advantage plan, because it doesn't matter. There's no underwriting with the Medicare Advantage, right? That's fine. We could change from one to another. Either way, anything we do right now doesn't start till January. But when it comes to a Medicare supplement, and if someone's paying $555 a month, the reality is just, can you afford that? Like, that's a lot of money, right? Can you afford that? And if the answer is no, well, then yeah, obviously we can go back to a Medicare. We could try a Medicare Advantage plan for 12 months. And if you don't like it, then I am your agent, right? So now you have your Medicare Advantage plan with me. Then I can go and I can write you a prescription. Well, yeah, you can do the PDP too. I can write you a Medicare supplement using trial period as my election, okay, for the med sup, and then there's no underwriting. Okay, so if you have questions on that, write those questions down and we'll go over that. Not free. So a lot of times you'll kind of sit down with clients, and I know Ryan ran into this. I mean, people run into it all the time, and you're like, well, what the heck? How is this? What do you mean it's $0? When things are too good to be true, they usually are, right? So I've been on Medicare since 2017. How could this be free, right? Well, first off, it's not free, okay? You paid taxes your entire life into this program. These are social programs by the federal government, okay? And let me ask you a question. Every single check you got, did they take money out of that check for taxes? Yep. What tax? Was it Medicare and Social Security, right? They took that out of your check. You remember that. You don't forget the taxes they take out. So it's not free. You paid into the program, the social program, to use it. And they're pretty dang good social programs, right? There's good ones and there's bad ones. I think those are pretty good ones, right? Without those two, we'd have a lot of people living on the streets, a lot of seniors. So that's a huge thing when you're talking to the client. You're like, oh, well, it doesn't cost anything. There's no premium, right? And you get dental, you get vision, you get hearing, over the counter. You have limited co-payments when you go to the doctor. No 20% out of pocket exposure with an additional 15% excess charge, meaning the doctor can charge you 15% more money than what Medicare pays them, and what you pay, the 20% that you pay. They're like, yeah, well, what you both paid is not enough. We're going to charge you an extra 15%. They're in business for profit. They got to make the money. So that is a crucial thing. It's not free. You pay taxes your whole life. It's just time that you use it. Okay. And also the explanation of how the insurance companies operate. Well, this Medicare Advantage plan, what it does is how does it work? How do they exist? How are they zero premium? Okay. I've been in this space for a long time. So I've seen all the changes. I know all the changes, the way that they operate, right? This is my 5th AEP. It's a pretty long time to see them. So I've seen a lot of the changes since 2017, 18 timeframe. And what happened is these plans were not free at one point, right? Or not zero premium, rather. They had premiums. That's why when we look in Sunfire, where I will share screen again, when we look in Sunfire and you just scroll down and you look at premiums and you look at plans that have a premium, right? That is why they exist. Because they've been around for a long time. For most of these plans, they've been around for a long time. And since 2004 is when Medicare Advantage started. Okay. And that's why trial period started, because people were getting enrolled in them. They didn't like them. They couldn't go back. So regulation, I'm sure, changed. So with that said, you run into this all the time. Yeah, when this stuff first came out, Miss Mary, these plans did have a premium. But the federal government pays these private health insurance companies money each month to manage your healthcare. Okay, let's just say it's $1,000. So they pay them $1,000 per month for you to manage your healthcare. Is the government better at doing stuff, or you think the health insurance company, whose job is and business is health insurance? Government really ain't that good at a lot of things. Some things they're good at, a lot of things they ain't. This is one thing that they'd rather pay someone to do that's better and specialized in doing it. So they pay them every single month. So in order for United Healthcare, for Humana, for Aetna, for WellCare, for Cigna, right, for Anthem, to get market share, to get more people like you, consumers, to get their product, to get their health insurance. In order for them to get it, they got to give away a ton of benefits, right? So how do they give away the benefits? Well, first they start off with charging premiums, right? And then one company in 2019 said, we're not going to have any premium anymore. It's going to be a zero premium plan, right? Before that, before they went zero premium, because I think in 2018, they might have started zero premium, depending on where you were in the country. So before that, like the huge change that we saw that was crazy, right? We were like, whoa, that's insane. The PCP became $0, right? Like that was a bit like, what? So the first plan that had a PCP that was $0 was the easiest thing in the world to sell, right? Easiest thing in the world. And then they went to zero premium, and it was shooting fish in a barrel, because you're going to every single person that has and these are all brand new plans to the marketplace, right? So they're all rolled out there, and you're just like, oh, you're paying $70 a month. Okay, well, Humana has the same exact type plan, right? They have a Medicare Advantage plan that's now zero premium. So that's the 2023 one. We'll just get you updated and get it changed over to that one. Like no brainer. You just saved 800 and some odd dollars a year, 840, right? So that's the explanation of how you have to explain to people that think it's too good to be true because they've been on Medicare for a while and they didn't know about it, or they have a current plan that has a premium already, right? It's not free by any means. And you also pay a Part B premium of $170.10 too, which next year, remember, to establish yourself as an expert, is going down to $164.90. Okay, so what do we have here? Well, let me look at the questions before I go to the next one. So Steve said, did you say prior to that, if someone has an MAPD because of disability, but he is aging now, can he be enrolled again and get paid his IP? Yes, correct. So if someone was not a T65 and they had Medicare at 53 years old and now they just turned 65, yes, you'll get the IEP because it's their initial election period at age 65. What about someone on a plan J? Can they go back even if it doesn't? Yes. So it just have to be a company that offers a plan J and they can go back to it. Yes, correct. Just like a plan F. So plan J's, you don't even see them anymore, which is a really, really good point. So a plan J is something that I want to go to, and I want to review that, which is going to lead us into our next thing. Does anyone have any questions on that before I go into the next thing? All the stuff that we just covered right there. Okay, so with that
Hey,
said,
Holden.
yeah.
Hey, what happens if the company that you want to switch them to doesn't have a plan J?
Yeah, so then you can't, you just wouldn't be able to change them to them.
Okay, so you have to go with the company, so they don't have to go to the same plan.
Yeah, so no, they have to go to the same plan. I think, hold on one second. What did you say earlier today? Because we were on the phone talking about it.
Yeah,
Because now I'm confused on there. I think
I'm confusing myself actually.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have to go to the same plan. Hold on, I wrote it down. It could be a different carrier, so that the company's fine. It doesn't matter as far as like carrier goes. So the carrier we can change, and then let me find the other one real quick. Trial period can be used multiple times throughout the lifespan of the client. So, 5 years later, they decide that, hey, I want to try this Medicare Advantage plan again. They can give another try. And carrier doesn't track. Carrier doesn't matter. And they do track a 12-month window to make sure that they are moving, to make sure there's no underwriting. Other than that, I think that was another question. Did you write that? What? I forget what we talked about earlier today. It wasn't.
See,
They have to go to the same plan.
See, and that's the thing. I don't remember asking that question actually to the agent that I spoke with. Whenever I was doing a little bit of research, I actually found the opposite. And again, that's what happens whenever you're on the internet. But what I had found was that, and I don't remember the site now anymore where I found it. But anyway, what they had said was you can't switch companies, but you can switch plans. So in other words, if you left a company And whenever you went to go back, they no longer carry the plan J in this case, then you could go to a different plan. But
Yeah.
then the guy I talked to said that, earlier today, he said that, you can switch companies, but I don't remember actually asking about the plan, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm almost certain they have to stay with the same plan.
Okay.
Because that's how the premium would be. So the premium would be the same exact thing. So that would make sense. But I'll send an email to my UHC rep and I'll get a definitive answer on that. And then I'll send an email to everyone to check.
Awesome.
All right, so I got that note written down. So I mean, like a plan J, for example, like that's someone shouldn't even have a plan J. You're way better off with a Medicare Advantage plan. So let me see. Plan J, Medicare supplement, Medicare payments. I'm gonna find real quick on that one for the med sup. I'm gonna see because I have it pulled up. Yeah, so it was discontinued. What is covered under a plan J? So let's just read this real quick. Let me just see. I want to compare this. So you guys, hold on. Let me pull up this PowerPoint and show you guys, so you can see the PowerPoint here. PowerPoint screen one. Share. All right, so y'all should be able to see this over here. I suppose I could put it in presentation mode. Yeah, let me do this. Presentation mode. All right. Let me just put it over here. I'll put it in presentation mode and we will get it started. So we're going to share screen one, share. And there we go. Now let me just switch monitor. All right, cool. So let me go to this slide right here. Okay. So this is the 10 letters of Medicare supplements. Okay. And then I'll pull up a plan J in a second to look at it. The different amounts that are covered: A, B, D, G, K, L, M, N, C, and F. This shows you what it pays and what it doesn't pay. So as you can see here, out-of-pocket limit, right? These make no sense to even, it's like just Medicare Advantage plan. Medicare Advantage plan if they're in an A, Medicare Advantage plan if they're in a B, right? Look at all the stuff that they're responsible for. It just doesn't make sense. There's no sense. The only thing that you have is you go to any doctor that doesn't accept Medicare or that does accept Medicare. I mean, you might as well just have a PPO then with a hospital indemnity. Plan D, same thing. You have your deductible and your Part B excess charges. So it's like, yeah, I mean, you're still going to pay money. Plan N, still here, co-payments apply, right? Part B deductible, but you can't even sell an A, B, D, G, or only a G, A, B, D, K, L, M. You cannot sell those. A C or an F to people that are born after 1/1/1955. So I want you to keep that in mind, that you can't sell those plans anyways, and a plan J as well, which we're going to look at in a moment. Okay. The only plans that you can sell on a med sup is a plan G and a plan N. That's it. And even with a plan N, it's like, yeah, well, I mean, I think a zero premium PPO is better than paying $100 a month for something that you might not even use, and you still have co-payments and excess charges on. I don't know, right? It just depends on the client situation, their financial situation. But most of the time, I mean, networks, most doctors are going to take health insurance. Most doctors are going to take Medicare Advantage plans. Most doctors are going to take Medicare, which means that they're going to take Medicare Advantage plans most of the time because they'd be stupid not to. And that's an important factor there, because whenever I look at it, I see Medicare supplements, and with the Medicare supplements itself, yeah, they're the Cadillac plan, but you could just get a PPO and now you can go out of network, right? And HMO is always more rich in benefits. PPO is always better for flexibility, going in and out of network. So it just depends on what the client's looking for. Some clients don't ever leave. They lived in the same town and they never went out of state their whole 70 years, right? So it's totally subjective to each client. But with that said, you can see here the differences. Now, let me go ahead and pull up the other one. Hold on, let me get out of presenter mode here. And so a Plan G, Plan J. Let's go back over here and let me show you guys. It's just what I found online. So what does it cover? I'll go back to here and let me share screen with this. So this is just what I found online. I just Googled it right here. Should be able to see screen one. Actually, hold on. Let me stop sharing. Let me go back to make sure I got the right monitor up. Okay. So what is covered under a Plan J? Okay. So here's what's covered. Your Part A coinsurance, Part A deductible, Part B deductible, Part B excess charge, Part B coinsurance or copayments, blood, hospice care, coinsurance or copayments, skilled nursing, foreign travel, preventative care. Okay. So all I do is I just go back to the PowerPoint. I just look at the ones that's covered and what's not covered. Okay. And then another thing that's really important for our clients, one, first off, no one should have a Plan J anymore anyways, right? That was unique at the time. There's now available options, including, okay. So no one should have a Plan J for the simple fact that no one has a Plan J, right? It's like, well, okay, well, what does that mean? Well, that means that there's no people to offset the risk in the pool, right? Just one pool of Plan Js. How many people left have a Plan J with XYZ insurance company? Not many, right? I have not seen a Plan J this AAP in the thousands of applications that we're dealing with, right? I've not seen a single Plan J. I have not seen a single Plan J this entire year. It just shows you that it's not something that you really see at all. So the pool of people is shrinking. What determines stability of rates? A large pool of people to offset the risk, the premiums paid in, offsetting the amount of medical bills paid out by the health insurance company, right? That's what offsets that risk. So that's a big thing that y'all should be really, really focused on there. So let's go ahead and let's look, and we can pull this up, and I'm going to do it live to kind of show y'all. I'll screen share in just a moment. Let me just get this all set up here. And let's take a look at it. So if a client has a Plan J, it's going to be based on the premium. So how much are you paying? And based on how much you're paying, we then just becomes a math problem, right? That's all that it is. So let's go ahead. You guys can see Sunfire now. So what we're going to do is we'll just input. Let me clear out all this stuff. Let's go ahead and we'll input some. Oh, this is in the wrong area. 1 second, y'all. Try and be finding these doctors here in just a moment. I'll pull it all on up. 63026. St. Louis County. Let's go over here. Let's go ahead and let's remove these doctors, and I'm going to add some doctors here to this list here. So we have David, and I'll just add, this is always my process, right? So I'm just going to walk through this. I'll expedite it real quick, and I will show you guys exactly what I do whenever I'm looking at a case. Where's this guy's first name? Doesn't exist here. So let's go ahead and let's go to the next one. So we'll add all the doctors, and then once we add all the doctors, then we can add all the drugs. Even so, right? So even when you're looking at it, right, and you're looking at the Medicare supplement, okay, Medicare supplement doctors don't matter. It doesn't matter at all. There's no networks with a Medicare supplement. That's the beauty of it, right? That's why people love it. There's no networks at all. So since there's no networks, then what happens is for the clients, they don't have to worry about that stuff. You don't need to type in a network of doctors for someone that's on a med sup. So yeah, go see any doctor that accepts Medicare, right? Call the doctor's office, say, hey, do you take Medicare? Perfect. Well, they'll take your Medicare supplement. However, when changing someone from a med sup to a Medicare Advantage plan, okay, you have to look to see if their doctors are covered. But like we said before, okay, most doctors take Medicare Advantage plans. It's just a matter of finding which Medicare Advantage plan they take. So that's really the key factor there. It's like, okay, well, which ones do you take and what's your cost going to be when you go see the doctor? So that's a big thing there. And I got to find one more doctor. Let me try and find this one. If not, then Google is our friend. So let's see. This doctor comes up over here now. Bingo. All right. So cool. So let's go ahead and hit save doctors there. Remember, if you do customer lookup after inputting all these doctors and stuff, you're not going to be happy. You will not be happy at all because it clears out all the information. Why? I have no idea. As you get better at typing this stuff in, what you're going to realize is that the drugs themselves, okay, you're going to notice which ones are generic, right? And then you'll kind of get a feel for it. Now, obviously, we're going to need to know if they are on the formulary for the each company, right? Because that's a big factor. But always make sure that when you're going through this, you're looking at the dosage, you're matching it to what's on the bottle, and you're asking the client questions. Hey, how much do you pay for this? And just like I said on last week's call, is just Google the drug. Like, how much does it cost without insurance? How much does it cost on GoodRx, right? So that's all that you do. GoodRx, lisinopril. It's probably like $1, a couple bucks to get it filled. It's an inexpensive generic drug, right? So that's a big thing. This shampoo right here, that probably, if I had to guess, would not be filled every single month. That would probably be filled every like 6 months or something, right? It's not how often you buy shampoo. So the frequency of that, I'd probably say, is not 1 month, but still I'm going to type it in. To the frequency doesn't matter as much as it does with the different dosages or types of pill that the client can be on. So that's a big factor there. We have Xarelto here, and we're going to hit save pharmacy and medications after inputting all that data. And then what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and just so you guys know, Essence is now showing up in here for, let's go to 2023. I checked it the other day and it was showing up for St. Louis County. When I looked, here it is. It's showing up again. All right. Oops. What am I doing here? So if you look at this Aetna PPO here, all doctors covered. Aetna Gold, all doctors covered. Another Aetna. AARP, HMO, these doctors covered. So all I would do is I would just Google this doctor's name, see if the doctor takes it. That's all I'm going to do. I just got to Google these ones. Like, how often do you even go to this doctor? Right, Dr. Jeff is the PCP. Okay, so that's your primary. That's the key doctor. That's the number one that we need to meet. Need to know. This might be an optometrist, right? I don't know what these doctors are, what they do. I don't even know how frequently this person goes to see these doctors. A lot of doctors, right? So I just have to ask them that. Oh, I haven't seen this doctor in 3 years. Okay, I don't care about that doctor then, right? I'm going to eliminate it from the list. So they're really unhealthy. That's a different thing. So Humana as well, PPOs, we could check those because if it's in and out of network, it doesn't matter. So let's just go with this Aetna, for example. We see the drug cost here. If the plan is 0 premium and it says estimated annual cost, the only cost that's showing is your drug cost. So now let's go ahead and click drug cost details, right? And just scroll down. Metoprolol, free through the mail. Digoxin, free through the mail. This soap shampoo, free through the mail. Not going to pronounce it. Free through the mail. Bupropion, free through the mail. Cephalexin, free through the mail. Xarelto, not free. Trinalix, tier 4, not free. Entresto, tier 3, not free. Okay, that's big. So these last 3 ones are going to be the ones with costs associated with them. Okay, so all those other ones, remember, I said, there you go, free. And remember, Aetna is owned by CVS. It's a preferred retail. So there you go. You can always also change it to through the mail and see. This Trinalix is expensive. And ain't a cheap drug at all. Okay, it's not cheap. But more than likely, this client's going to hit the donut hole and the cost should change. Yeah. All right. So client hits donut hole in September. So they have 9 months of pretty expensive cost sharing. So here it's showing, right, that the client's paying $47 for the tier 3 drugs and $100 for the tier 4 drug. A tier 4 drug right here ain't cheap. I don't know what this drug is or what it does, but we can Google it and kind of see, and you can ask the client to ask their doctor, hey, is there any generics for the Entresto, for the Trintellix, for the Xarelto? Is there any generic I can go on that I can try? Because these drugs are too expensive. I can't afford $194 a month. And keep in mind, it doesn't matter, right, what plan that you're going with. If they have a plan J, for example, for the Medicare supplement, right, and we want to look at a plan, a prescription drug plan, or either way, if we're looking at a Medicare Advantage plan or a prescription drug plan, they still are going to have drug cost, right? So let's go to Part D, because if they got a Med Sup, they also have a prescription drug plan too, a PDP. So look at this, estimated cost $4,000. And that's including the monthly plan premium. View breakdown, you just click it. Estimated annual drug cost, $3,000. So what's the difference between the two? Monthly plan premium. Okay, there you go. So we just want to look at this stuff. Look at SilverScript's premium has gone up dramatically. It's crazy. I see that in a lot of markets. SilverScript's premium went up from $6.80 to $33. So you see that, it's like, boom, I want to go with the one that's the lowest premium. So let's go under $20. There's only one right there. WellCare, ValueScript. That's where WellCare is pretty strong this year. Prescription drug plans, that's really it. So now you see, it's like, hey, whether they go with the Medicare Advantage plan or not, they're paying $4,000 a year. $4,000 divided by 12, 300 some odd dollars a month. It's a lot of money, right? So for this specific case, my question to the client would be, hey, how much are you paying on a monthly basis for your prescription drugs? I could do a customer lookup, but if I did a customer lookup, it's going to delete all the drugs in here. So, or actually I can't do a customer lookup because I can't share that data with you guys. But if you do a customer lookup and it turns out that this guy is on this plan right here, this PDP, we know he's also paying, in addition to his plan J premium, $28. So what's your plan J premium that you pay per month on a monthly basis? Well, we're not worried about today as well with the plan J. We're worried about tomorrow in the future, and we'll get you in with the trial period. So if he's paying $380 a month with a plan J plus $28 for the Medicare, for the prescription drug plan, right? And another $46 a month for the dental, vision, and hearing plan. So what do we got? We got 46 plus 28 plus 380. This guy, before he does anything for the month, pays $454 just in premiums. Then he also has drug cost. And drug cost with this plan is $6,224 for the year, right? I got to ask the guy and just confirm it. That's going to, how much you paying a month? $300 for prescription drugs. Okay. 454 plus $300, $754 times 12. You're paying $9,084 for your health care. All right. Aetna Medicare Elite PPO. Great. So we can go in and out of network if that's his concern. $2,756 is your annual cost for your drugs. The premium now is reduced to $0. I click details, right? Here's what you pay when you go to the doctor. Here's what happens if you take an ambulance, right? The most amount of money you're going to pay in a single year anyways in network is $4,500. That's half of what you're paying right now. If something catastrophic were to happen and you were to go in the hospital and reach your maximum out of pocket, most years you ain't going to be spending $9,000 just to have health insurance. This is a win-win-win for this guy, unless his health is absolutely horrendous and it doesn't make sense to change for that reason. I think a Medicare Advantage plan is a huge win for someone that's paying $9,000 a year in between premiums and I think it was probably just overall premiums. I forget what the math was, but you guys are following me anyways. Like $6,000, $7,000 a year in premiums plus his drugs. Like that's crazy. I'd rather have co-payments. I'd rather have a PPO. Combine it with a hospital indemnity plan, and the guy's winning overall. Now he's winning. And I would just check the remaining doctors. Hey, how frequently do you go see those doctors, right? How frequently do you go see this doctor, this doctor, this doctor, this doctor, right? So ask that question. How frequently do you go see? How much are you paying for your prescription drugs on a monthly basis? Okay, great. In addition to that, what I also need to know for this guy is not only the doctors, right? Because sometimes people aren't even married to the doctor. They don't care. Like Dr. Richard right here. he might not even care about Dr. Richard. He's probably just like, yeah, I don't care about that doctor. I haven't seen him in 3 years, or I don't care if I go to that doctor or another one. I don't even see that doctor when I go to his office. I see a different person every time. Okay, well, so you don't care about that specific doctor. So we can eliminate some people off the list. So I ask those questions, right? And I just kind of check there and see if that's something that makes sense for the client overall. Is saving, what did we say, 380 plus 28 plus 46, $450, $454 a month. Is that something that makes sense for you? Can you afford $450 a month? Keep in mind that $454 a month only goes one way with your Medicare supplement. MedSup only goes up in price next year, right? The rates change every year. It is only going one way, and that one way is not down. One way is up. So for him, Medicare supplements make a ton of sense. Call these doctors, the remaining doctors, check with the doctor's office. Hey, what Medicare Advantage plans do you take? Check with the client. Hey, are you married to these doctors? Do you like this one? Do you don't like this one? Right. So AARP is a great one. Humana is a great one. And just confirm the doctors. Aetna is obviously a great one. We wouldn't go with the plan with the premium. We go with one of these two zero premium plans. Either one of those looks phenomenal for this person and covers all the doctors. But like I said, just check doctors, check with the client. So that's a live case study there already. And we'll stop share here. Who's got some questions before we get into digital leads and what we're thinking to do with the digital leads? And I'll go over those as well. Sweet. All right. So digital leads themselves. So I know some of you guys are running out of Medicare leads and you want more. My first thing that I'm going to tell you is just buy the final expense leads. We have a ton of final expense lead inventory all across the country. Do a blitz, go see people, go sit down with them. We sell Medicare all year round and we sell it off of final expense leads. This is a one time a year that we're using Medicare leads to get in touch with people, right? So just if you're out of leads, just buy FE leads, buy final expense leads, go see those people. It's going to help you tremendously. So that's one. That's what I would tell you first. The other option is to use the digital leads. You can use those as well. I don't know the quality, right? I'm not going to say that they're amazing or not. I personally haven't tried them, so I'm not going to steer you in one direction or another. What I can tell you is that people have liked them so far. So they're $18 for a Medicare lead. They're $10 for a final expense lead. Final expense clients are Medicare clients, and it costs close to double to buy a Medicare lead. So with that said, maybe you just double up your order and get more final expense. It takes 3 to 4 days to fill the order. The digital lead is an SEO lead, which is search engine optimization, which they use a combination of social media and websites, right? It's a web of getting people to their landing pages and social media clicks. And it's a 2-step process to make sure that, to make sure that the clients kind of go through a verification to make sure the quality of the lead is good. And make sure you, as the agent, do not miss a step with digital leads when it comes to compliance. There's never been a secret shopper on a final expense direct mail lead or Medicare mail leads for that matter, direct mail, right? When you get into telemarketing leads, like live transfers, when you get into other lead sources, it can be a risk, right? So I'm just telling you that. Be by the book. When this lead comes in, it must be dialed immediately. You got to dial these leads immediately. Like these have to be very, very, very quickly and dial these leads immediately. No lag time with dialing them and working them. Needs to be done immediately. It's not a card, a direct mail card that someone has that you have their own personal handwriting on. Like you gotta make sure you do it. It's the blended lead flow of people that are Medicare Advantage, D-SNPs, and Med Subs. So I don't know exactly what you're going to get on it because they're trying to capture all of that market, right? They're trying to capture all that market. So you get a little bit of everything there on that, just like you do on the Medicare Advantage mailers anyways. You're running into people that have subs all the time and you're like, you're in a great plan. Why the heck did you send this in? You check PDP, but we don't get paid a ton on prescription drug plans. So run the drugs, let Sunfire do the work. Hey, we found that this WellCare prescription drug plan is going to be the best one for you in 2023. Let's go with that. Your Medicare supplement, we can apply for a better rate. Can't guarantee anything, of course. I can put in the application, but based on everything you told me, you should get approved. I don't know 100%, but I'll tell you in a couple of days, we'll get the well care set up, boom, done, move to the next person, expedite the sales process. So you can use the digital leads, and you can do that to subsidize, right, your lead orders, kind of fill in the gaps that you have if you want to buy more of them. So try it, see if you like it. I don't know. I haven't tried it myself personally, but I think it's a good alternative. I think it's something, if you buy 100 leads for $10, you spend $1,000, I'm sure you're gonna get some sales out of them. I don't, it's not a lot of money. Spend it, see if it works for you. And yeah, test the quality. So that's about it. Keep it in a pretty concentrated area if you can. Do a one-time order, test them out, 50 leads, $500, see if it works, see if you like it. Sell some life insurance, sell some health insurance. Alrighty, also 7:52, we're 52 minutes into the call. Does anyone have any questions? Raise hand, questions, comments, concerns. Ryan and I were both going to work on getting that answer for the other question is, do you have to stay with the same plan? We know you don't have to stay with the same company. We know there's no underwriting, it's guaranteed issue. John, go ahead, John. Yeah.
All right. Hey, Holden, I just wanted to mention that, at your recommendation, I did follow up with my clients at the beginning of the season. And so we'd used a tool called Sly Broadcast to leave some voicemails with folks. And I did have a client call up, and she'd recently had a stroke, and I'd switched her over to a D-SNP from a regular Medicare Advantage plan. Wow. And she couldn't remember my name. And it was kind of one of those things where it's on the tip of your tongue. She knew she had somebody, but she couldn't remember. And she was so thankful that I followed up with her. And then she had some questions for me, and we were able to connect and, basically just keep helping her out. And so I was very thankful that, you told me to follow up with them. And because of that, we're able to reconnect and, get her some additional information on the 2023 plans. And just wanted to mention that it's important to follow up with your existing book of business.
That's a great point. I'm so glad you added that, because that happened to me too. It was literally identical. The lady's like, I know, that I have an agent. I don't remember your name, right? And I took your card, or she had grandkids that took the magnet off the refrigerator and they lose the paper card. So she's like, I'm so happy that you sent me a letter in the mail. And, she's my client. She's like, I'm so happy that, you sent this out to me. So that is thank you, John, for adding, because that's a great point. Jeremy, for digital leads, get with your upline and he will help you place a lead order on that. Mr. Bill Miller, I see you're unmuted. Go ahead.
Did I raise my hand?
Oh, yeah. No, you're good. Sorry. I'll mute you.
No, that's cool.
All righty. Anybody else? If not, we will downset Hut. Alrighty, well, I appreciate everyone. Just shoot me a text if you need me, call. If not, I'll see y'all next week.